My first tattoo. My first tattoo is probably one of my most proudest moments. Took me 5 hours. It's on my thigh right here. It's a stupid skull. Like, nowadays it would have taken my apprentices maybe 2 hours, but I had to tattoo myself first because I was too afraid to tattoo anybody else. I took this really seriously, and I feel like if I can do this on myself, if I can trust myself to do that and not mess up, then I can have the privilege to tattoo somebody else. Hey, I'm Fred Chino. I'm a tattoo artist, and I'm co-owner of 1001 Troubles Tattoo. If you were in the market for a tattoo and you wanted some really cool, bold, neo-traditional tattoos with just wild, unconventional colors, I'm your guy. I'm influenced by traditional, neo-traditional, with a little mix of Japanese and some pop art. It's hard for me to just put a label on it. I don't like putting that label, not to sound completely like a like a hipster. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's Fred style, you know? It's just a bunch of stuff that I like. Subject matter wise, I love fantasy, D&D, 70s, 80s pop art kind of stuff. Wild colors, 80s, you know, pink and teal. That's my jam. Something that makes it look like it's glowing after they leave the tattoo shop. I think my college career did push me to think outside the box a little bit. And you do see that a lot in my work too. I like more of an illustrative realism kind of style at times. I was a pen and ink guy, so pen and ink, then you hit it with the watercolor and it pops everything out. So I kind of do a little column A, column B. I'm not like a stick to one specific style kind of guy.
Have my own jeweler now.
Yeah. Like red or something like that, yeah. Yep. Make them gnarly looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're great because they almost look like boils or something.
Yeah.
But
Line work for me is really, really important. How bold a tattoo is. Can I see what it is from 10 feet away? Or do I have to get up like this to see what the hell I'm looking at? That's important to me because I want to make sure that when my tattoos walk out the door, they always look fresh when they're leaving, but is it going to look just as good 10 years from now? Its readability is really important. I think that what black ink does is it holds up better. A, because it's dark. It's really, really dark. And B, it's carbon based. So it's gonna stay rigid. It's gonna stand the test of time. Where other colors are gonna fade. You see a lot of these tattoos that don't have outlines and stuff. They look really, really great. They look good for Instagram. You know, they look great when they're fresh walking out the door, but I've seen tattoos that are, you know, the realism style, and they look like trash like 10 years later. So this is memory lane. I haven't looked at this in a while. This is definitely one of those ones that I wish I could do again, because I free-handed this one. There's a few schools of thought concerning like line work and how important it is. Can you go outside the bounds of a traditional skill set of line work, color, shading? Those three are like the holy trinity. And if I want to be really broad, you could say that there's two schools of thought, like the traditional people and the let's color outside the lines kind of people, you know, the art school kids that want to make a tattoo look like a painting, which I think is really admirable. And I do that sometimes. Do I think it's going to hold up the test of time? That's to be seen. A lot of these tattoos aren't old enough to see if these things will actually last 50 years. But I've seen some old sailors and some old cons that still have tattoos that are, you know, dark as fuck. So I think it's admirable that people are pushing the boundaries and, you know, raising the bar, trying to make tattoos look like they're not tattoos. I was first introduced to art as a child, but I don't think you can really call it being introduced. It's more like you're born into it, at least for me. Everybody on my mother's side of the family, they're all artisans, specifically from the Acoma Nation, which is a Native American tribe in New Mexico, the United States. Part of that heritage is pottery making. So I remember being a kid and being surrounded by my grandmother's pottery, and the line work she would put on the pots was just... I think when you're a kid, though, you don't realize how important or neat or interesting something is until you have something to compare that to. And I think that when you're born into something, not realizing that there's other ways of doing things, you just think that this is the most natural and normal thing possible, you know? Like it's like breathing air. My upbringing was, I don't think, any more strange than anybody else's for an 80s, 90s kid. I was born in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Both my parents were in the Navy when they had met. It gets a lot of questions when I go to the DMV, for sure, because they don't quite understand. I moved around so much as a kid. I think every 3 years I would be in a different school, a different town. And eventually my parents got divorced and my mother remarried to my stepfather. Now they're still together. And he was in the Army, so he's retired vet. So that lifestyle of moving around didn't stop. I spent some time in Europe, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands. I spent some time in the South, Texas, Tennessee. Being around the world, I think that I was subjected to a lot of different ways of life and culture, and I think that kind of shaped how I view things today. You know, like I try not to be so judgmental on how people do things. I like weird people. I like people that are completely unconventional, and I think moving around the world really kind of molded me into being able to work with these people that kind of view tattoo as therapy. I think that somebody that spent their entire life in one town wouldn't be able to do that. So I think I'm really thankful to be able to be in a service industry that works with a lot of people with gusto and excitement.
I just want you to make sure you understand who's in charge here.
Bigger picture stuff, I guess. I mean, I would love to open up a second shop. That's kind of in the works right now. And I want to teach more. Teaching is something that's really important to me. I'm all about like breaking down those gates and getting rid of the keepers. I think a lot of tattooing has been marred by this keeping undesirables out kind of thing, and I hate that. You know, I think that's really important in establishing your own identity. Tattooing is as old as humanity. You know what I mean? This is our vehicle. Why can't we decorate it? Why do we have to keep others out? And I think it's just a way to keep people from making money. All right, dude, you ready? I think that, in my 12-year career, I'm not trying to win tattooing anymore. This is not something that I'm trying to be famous for. And I think in the beginning, that's what I wanted. Honestly, I think that I'm like this. I mean, who isn't a weird contradiction of themselves all the time, you know? I'm here because I put in a lot of hard work and I wanted to be the best at what I do. And I think you get to a point in your career when you're kind of up here and you're like, what's important? Is this still important to kind of shirk some of my responsibilities in the name of this thing that I'm obsessed with? And or do I kind of ease back a little bit and let somebody else take the reins? And I think I just want to enjoy myself and do good tattoos and hang out with cool people. And tattooing is my life. I'm completely obsessed with it. It's something that I for lack of better words, eat, sleep, and breathe. You know? What's next for me? Oh, dude, I don't even know. I have no clue. I used to plan everything out, and I don't know. I'm seat of my pants kind of guy. I won't look at my schedule until the day before and be like, oh, I'm doing this tomorrow, cool. And then I draw.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified for when we upload a new video, hit that bell icon above. If you'd like to see more of Fred's work, see the links in the description below, and special thanks to 1001 Troubles Tattoo Studio. Until then, see you in the next video.